Hey, peace and love, Ready Nation. This is Tamara T. Bush coming to you with another video. I came across an article that I wanted to dive into. But first, let me just say that I hope that everyone has had a good first month of your year, um, that you've been able to get into some strategic planning these last 30 days. I hope that you are making strides towards improving your economic situation or stabilizing your economic situation, whatever that looks like. I hope and pray. I pray that you all are moving forward in some capacity and not spending money on frivolous things. Okay. So this article, I came across this article, like I said, and I just wanted to read through it because the one thing I know is that men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie. So this article goes over a little bit of statistics in terms of people's situation and being able to have access to emergency funds. Emergency funds. And it's a little scary because, we're in 2023, and a lot of people, including myself, have been stating over and over and over to ensure that you have more than one stream of income, right? Because your income is like the table. If you have four legs, meaning four streams, and one of those legs or streams were to get taken away from you, you still have the other three legs or streams of income to sustain you. So we definitely don't want to be dependent on one source of income. We just simply cannot survive. We cannot survive off of one stream of income. It is not possible. So if you are working a 9 to 5, I know it's easier said than done, especially if you're working the 8 to 9 or sometimes a 10 to 12 hour shift. It's hard to pick up extra things to do, but I'm hoping that you will feel empowered in order to move forward and find something that you can make money at on the side. All right, if you have a gift, a talent, or an ability, anything that you can do at all that you think that you can profit from, or you think that the world would love to, engage with you or buy from you, or if there is a problem that you can solve, if you have a talent, skill, or ability that translates into a problem that you can solve for someone else, then that's can potentially be another stream of income for you. So I urge you to go ahead and get started in some capacity in terms of being able to make more money. And now, if you can't make more money, then I encourage you to at least try to work on your credit, because that in itself is going to give you access to the credit or the liquid capital, some means of liquid capital or an emergency fund that you can tap into when you need it, right? That is my recommendation. Hold on one second, y'all, because I'm trying to make sure that you all can hear me. So let me test my mic. All right, just wanted to check. All right, there we go. Okay. All right, so you all should be able to hear me. Okay, so the article reads, the cost of living has become extremely oppressive, and 50% of Americans cannot afford a $1,000 emergency expense. All right, so this article was actually just published sometime last week, right? And like I said, it's very, I mean, I can't say that it's really alarming, but it sort of kind of is in a way, because I was hoping to see some more, more progression in terms of these percentages, but these percentages is really alarming. All right, so it says, I don't have to tell you that your money doesn't go as far as it once did. You see it every time that you go shopping. Our leaders flooded the system with money and pursued highly inflationary policies for years, and now we are all paying the price. Cost of living has been rising much faster than our incomes have, and this is systematically destroying the middle class. This has actually been happening for quite some time. The middle class has been being eliminated for quite some time now, because the cost of living has gone up, and the rate of increase in terms of pay that people are receiving is just simply not enough, not even close to the cost of living, right? And so this is part of the reason why supplemental income is definitely important, because inflation is going to go up every single year, every single year, every single year. inflation goes up, but people are not making enough money. People are typically getting 1%, maybe 2% raises at their jobs, which is nothing at all. It's really nothing at all. Um, Usually the way that it goes is like for every $1,000 raise that you get on your annual salary, that equates to approximately $20 extra per paycheck. $20 to $30 per paycheck, and that's nothing. You can spend that on gas and not really see an impact on your income. So very important that we develop something. You got to have something else going on outside of the job, or if you have a business where you have one product that you offer, it's important to pick up something else. You might want to explore your horizons in terms of the products and services that you can offer. Maybe look at some digital products. If you have a tangible product that you sell, maybe look at some DIY courses that you can create. Um, and then part of the issue too is that we're getting older. So we're not necessarily going to be working in our businesses the entire time. We want to be able to relax. We want to be able to just, see some money come in without having to really put in a ton of work, because there's only 24 hours in a day and 8 of those hours are spent sleep, right? So that really leaves you with 12 hours left to do what you need to do. But realistically, you're not going to actually work those 12 hours. So time is just slowly dwindling away. It is. And these days are going by so fast that we have to really, really be specific and strategic in terms of how we spend our time, especially now, because things are going to begin to change. They are going to change. I've been saying this on the channel for weeks on end, that things are going to change, and we want to make sure that we are prepared. All right, so it says survey after survey has shown that a solid majority of the population is living paycheck to paycheck. And at this point, most US consumers are tapped out. All right, so people are tapped out in terms of their credit limits, they're tapped out on loans, their DTI is high, there's a lot of things going on here. So, if you are tapped out on your personal finances, in terms of your utilization for your credit cards and things of that nature, if you can get your FICO score up to 700, if you can get your FICO score up to 700, then that is a huge opportunity for you to take advantage of applying for business credit. Usually, in most states, it doesn't cost very much to incorporate. Okay. But if you're in California, California and New York is a little rough. There's some states out there that are fairly expensive, but the good news is that you can potentially incorporate in a neighboring state, or you can do it out of a state that's really popular, like Wyoming, and it really won't cost you much to get those documents filed with the Secretary of State. And then you do a little bit of work to build up your business profile, right? And this usually takes maybe about a week or 2 weeks. But at the end of the 2 weeks, again, if you're over a 700 FICO score, you can go and apply for a business cash card right away. And the thing of the matter is you really just have to know how to fill out the application that's going to be advantageous to you in terms of the limits that you will be provided with. Now, just keep in mind, if you do start a business, it doesn't mean that you have to be actively engaged in business. A lot of people start businesses so that they can tap into the business credit. That is a form of liquid capital that you can take and grow and do other things with it that will sustain you, especially if you're tapped out on your personal credit cards. Now, if you are in a situation where you have high utilization on your credit card, then you can take the credit card debt off of your person, and you can move it over to the business, and that will help increase your FICO score in itself. Because a lot of people actually really do have good credit. It's just that they have high utilization. I was just speaking to someone today, and that was pretty much their situation. Their credit is fine. They just got to get those balances down on the credit card. And typically I recommend getting them down anywhere between 3 to 5%, because 10%, a lot of people say 10%, but 10% is really still high. So if you have a credit card balance, you wanna try to get the balance down to 3% utilization, and tapping into the business credit is going to help you to do that. It's really a matter of strategizing. You just have to strategize. Corporations do it all the time. They take personal debt and they allow it to sit over in the business. So that means that the business is going to house the debt while the person, the individual, is freed up on their credit. So that frees you up to go ahead and do other things, to go ahead and apply for that house, to go ahead and apply for that car, where you don't look over leverage to the lenders that are wanting to lend to you. Okay, so it's all about the strategy. It's all about the strategy, right? And this is alarming because it says they can't afford to pay $1,000 emergency expense. It's so alarming. All right, so it says according to the Bankrate's annual emergency fund report, 68% of people are worried they wouldn't be able to cover their living expenses for just 1 month if they lost their primary source of income. And when push comes to shove, the majority, which is 57% of US adults, are currently unable to afford $1,000 emergency expense. Now, this narrative definitely has to change. So we want to think of other ways to bring in revenue, right? That's the key. Think of other ways to bring in revenue. There's a ton of work from home jobs um, out there. There are some things that people can do to sort of bring up their revenue. People really just need to make a little bit more money, make a little bit more money. And so that may mean exploring something that you know you're good at and capitalizing off of that, right? Um, or getting together with other family members and coming with an idea in terms of how to create a family banking ecosystem. It's so many different ways that you can do this, right? Okay, so it says when broken down by generation, Gen Xers, which is 85%, and millennials, which is 79%, are more likely to be worried about covering an emergency expense. Now, I don't know how true this is, but I get it. Everyone at a certain threshold is worried about covering an emergency expense. That's why you want to have some sort of nest egg built up. Even if you don't have savings, you definitely want to have um, limits on your credit card that are untouched. Okay, limits on your credit cards that are untouched. These numbers are quite ominous because they clearly demonstrate that we are completely and utterly unprepared for any sort of major economic downturn. Now, this is a true statement. Major economic downturn, because people, when I tell you, it is definitely coming. So if you have monies coming in from tax returns, I know it's tax return season is here. People have probably already gotten um, monies coming in from that. Just be very strategic in how you spend that money. One of the things that I used to always recommend people to do, and I actually forgot about this until recent, but I used to tell people to do this like all the time, to go and get a pledge loan from your bank. So what is a pledge loan? A pledge loan is something that you can do, right? If you walk into your bank and you let them know that you want to take out a secured loan that's secured by the monies that are sitting in the savings account. So let's say, for instance, you get $3,000 tax return. You take a third of that, which is $1,000, and you go and make a deposit into your savings account at either your bank or your credit union, preferably a credit union because the rates are better. And you let the bank rep know that you want to go ahead and take out a pledge loan secured by the monies that's in your savings account. Now, typically with pledge loans, they don't run credit because it is a secured loan. And basically what they'll do is they'll freeze up the money in your savings account, and then they'll issue you a direct deposit or a check for $1,000 that you can go and use at your will. Now, as you pay the money back, whatever portion of the monies that you're paying back is then released from your savings account, and then you have access to that money again. That is something that I recommend to do because not only does it help you to build your credit, because of course you want to make sure that you maintain your payments, do not fall behind. You definitely want to maintain your payments, maybe set up some sort of direct deposit to make sure that you don't miss a payment and you don't incur any unnecessary late fees, right? Um, it helps you to clean build your credit up. But in addition to that, the very money that you were going to spend anyway you have a second chance at what you're going to do with that money. So it's almost like you're being given that money twice. Because remember, once you spend the principal is gone forever. But if you take and use that principal as leverage to do something else, such as a pledge loan, then you can benefit from that in more ways than one. When you have money coming in, when you have money coming in, that money should make money for you before that money is spent. Okay. So that's just an idea, especially if you're looking to, fix your credit, or if you're looking, I don't know, there's so many things that people are looking to do. Um, now that the 2023 is here. All right, so that's just an idea. Okay. So then it goes on to say, and thanks to rapidly rising cost of living, we are losing even more ground with each passing month. That is absolutely true. That is true. Another survey that was recently released found that earnings are falling behind the cost of living. Yes, absolutely, 100%. All right, so this particular article is off of CNBC. It says amid inflation, more middle-class Americans struggle to make ends meet. Why is this happening? This was just published on January the 18th, right? And, they keep talking about inflation. So when you really sit down and think about it, if you're spending more money on things, if you're spending more money on food, then it's time to strategize, right? I was just speaking to someone earlier today about growing their garden, beginning to grow certain things in your backyard so that you can minimize the amount of money that you spend at the grocery store. That's a strategy that we definitely want to begin to look into, because we just cannot continue on the way that things are. We really can't. We just can't do it. Cannot continue on the way that things are, right? We got to make a change, and we have to make better decisions. It's necessary. There should be some sort of growth in everything that we do, some sort of natural progression or evolution in terms of the decisions that we make. We don't want to be making the same decisions that we made 5 years ago, not even a year ago, because the idea is to do things that's going to help us grow and learn and evolve and help us recognize when change is needed, right? Got to recognize when change is needed. Okay, so nearly 3/4 or 72% of middle income families say their earnings are falling behind the cost of living, which is a scary thing because the cost of living is just going to continue to go up. I think when I was working in corporate America years ago, I remember getting a 10% raise. And that was the only time in my entire career in working in corporate America that I ever gotten that raise, because if I recall correctly, it was a 3% raise with a 7% merit raise. It was like a merit increase, which was a bonus. That was way back in the day. 10% is a lot to get these days. Most people will never see that unless you're in some sort of high level executive or corporate position. But the average person won't see a 10% raise. The average person will really see like a 1% raise, if that. Is absolutely insane. It really is insane. That's part of the reason why I don't work in corporate America anymore. Because they literally, literally overwork and underpay you. All right, so nearly 3/4 or 72%. Okay, cost of living is up 68% a year from a year ago, according to a separate report done by Primerica based on a survey of households which incomes range between $30,000 and $100,000. Yeah, 74% say they're unable to save for the future. Yeah, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you won't be able to save. There isn't any way. And then if you have an emergency, it's going to put you in the hole. It's going to put you behind on your bills. So that supplemental income is going to be very, very important for you to sustain. It's going to be very important. So we need to get that side thing going, that talent, that gift, or that ability. Social media is a great way to market your talent, skills, and abilities. And I would just say start before you're ready. Because if you try to wait to do something, if you're waiting for things to be perfect or you think things should look a certain way, I'm here to tell you that the best things begin before they're ready. You just need to get started and do something. I don't want to wait too long because things are going to be changing soon. So you want to get on the ball and begin to strategically plan. And you don't have to tell a whole bunch of people what you're doing because, unless you need specific advice, maybe. But when you go to talk to people, try to talk to people that have already gotten where you're going to. Because it's hard to have a conversation with someone that will never ever do or try what you are trying to accomplish. So it's hard to speak to them because they really won't have good advice other than to push their fears and project their fears onto you. So be very careful in terms of who you're speaking with. Try to surround yourself with like-minded individuals that's going to help and nurture you get things done. And everyone, and ideally should be working as a unit. You know, it's amazing. That's just what we have to do. So it says here we haven't experienced anything like this in the United States in decades. Yeah, the prices are high. Prices are definitely high. When I went back home, and this is every time I go back home, to Buffalo, food in the city of Buffalo is so much higher than it is in Charlotte, North Carolina. The food is high. It's high. Yeah, it's so, so high. But it's so funny because the cost of living in Charlotte is higher than it is in Buffalo, but the food is higher in Buffalo. So this person right here says McDonald's is charging $3 for one hash brown. I haven't eaten McDonald's in decades, so I don't know what their prices are looking like. But yeah, I could totally see them doing that. Y'all be careful eating at McDonald's because y'all know good and well that that's not real food. I'm gonna stop it. Just stop it. It says, "Are you kidding me?" I'm sure that many of you can remember a time when they were 50 cents. Sadly, those days are not coming back. Nope, 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 nope. Those days are not coming back. They are not coming back. So it says for the last 18 months, we've seen extraordinary input cost pressure. It runs across petrochemical delivered products, agricultural derived product, energy, transport, logistics, he said. It's been feeding through for quite some time now, and we've been accelerating to the rate of price increases that we've had to put into the market. Doesn't sound good at all. It's not good. There's more inflationary pressures coming, right? Here's another article from CNBC. Prices have not peaked. Listen, I want y'all to pay attention. Pay attention. This article was published on the 17th of this month. It says for the last 18 months, we've seen an extraordinary input cost pressure. It runs across, all right, petrochemical derived products, agriculture derived products, energy, transports, all that good stuff, right? Yeah, I want you all to tap into international news and even national news and start looking at what a lot of these firms are saying because they're telling you what's coming. They are telling you. All right. As food prices continue to rise, these big companies are going to look for ways to reduce input costs. They are going to look for ways. A lot of companies are currently laying off. There's a lot of people getting laid off right now, which is all the more reason to have a supplemental income set up. Look for dynamic and out of the box ways to make money, everyone. For those that just have that one stream of income, it's time to get moving on some additional sources of income, you know, and try to minimize what you have in your house. I don't know. We just got to look at what's going on and pay attention to the sign of the times. Um, we really, 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 really have to pay attention. We really have to pay attention. I posted something on my Facebook page. I think it was either yesterday. Let me see if I can bring it up. I did post something on my Facebook page. Let's see. Let's see if I can bring it up. Yeah, I just posted this one today. The truth is stranger than fiction. It really, really is. It is stranger than fiction. But this is what I posted yesterday. And a lot of y'all was not feeling this. I completely understand. I understand because the scary times that we're in. But y'all, people got to stop running from the truth. So it's 2 Thessalonians 2, verses 8 through 11. It says, "And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause, God shall send them strong delusions." That means that no matter what anybody says to you, you will not see the truth. You will be in complete denial of what's going on. You will exercise cognitive dissonance. There's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff going on with you, all because you are not accepting and loving of the truth. And it says that they should believe the lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but have pleasure in unrighteousness. So when you look at this picture is, you look at this line, just look at this, y'all. A reassuring lie. People like to feel warm and cozy inside. Oh yeah, they like to feel comfortable, especially if the truth is aligning with something that they've known their entire life. But as soon as you try to, or I'm sorry, if the lie is in line with something that they've known their entire life, right? So it's warm and cozy inside here for them because this is what they know, this is what they're used to, this is how it's always been. And they don't really want to change because they're complacent, they're happy with the way things are. Because when they find out the truth, then I'm talking about really find out the truth. When people find out the real truth, that is when they become responsible, because then that means that they will have to do something different. Because once you find out the truth, you can no longer live a lie. That means you're going to have to change. And a lot of people don't want to change. They just want to keep doing whatever they've been doing. They really don't want to change. And so they'll just keep doing it. So they will go with this reassuring lie, and they'll keep going and going and going and going because it feels good. It feels good over here. It feels awesome over here. It's not scary over here. They don't have any anxiety over here. They're just living their life in la la land and just, oh, life is great. And so when anything happens, they get to ignore it. You know, they get to just say, oh, that's not what that is. And so they convince themselves that nothing is wrong. Here is where they convince themselves that nothing is wrong. Oh, I've been doing this whole time, you know, and this is what I've been taught. And this is how it's always been. So this is the reassuring lie that people love. They flock to this. Look at this. This is the masses, right? This is the masses that's going over here to the reassuring lie because it sounds good, it looks good, it smells good, it feels good. Yeah, that's what that does for you. But over here, an individual that comes over here to an inconvenient truth is lonely. They're very lonely. Look at the lady in the box. I want you all to really look at this lady. Look at her. Look at her face. She knows she has the truth, but she's very lonely. Look at how happy. Look at how happy all of the people are over here going over to this reassuring light. They're all smiling and happy and comfortable and, just giddy, and they're going to get their lie, right? But over here, she knows that she has the truth, and she's not understanding why no one is coming to her booth. She's not understanding why no one's coming to her booth, right? And so when you are a person that has a message, or you're sitting on some truths, it can get very, very, very lonely for you because there's so much deception in the world that people are continuing to flock to the reassuring lie because, like I said before, it looks good, it smells good, it feels good, right? So this is really where people want to be. Because if they come over here, that means that they're going to have to change. They're going to have to do something different. They're going to have to admit that they were wrong. They're going to have to admit, well, they're going to have to rethink some things. They may have to rethink their entire life. They may have to rethink their religion. They may have to rethink a whole lot of things. And so when they come over here to the truth, it may disrupt some things. Some people may hate them for telling the truth. Some people in their family may disown them for living their truth, right? There's a lot of things that are going to happen when people begin to learn the truth, right? So when people begin to learn the truth, they go through different stages of grief, right? This is just the reality of it. This is the psychology of it, right? So, I say all that just to say, I know I just sort of, got off track there for a second, but it was necessary. It was necessary because, a lot of us right now are moving through life right now. We think that there is nothing wrong. A lot of us right now are doing things and used to seeing things that we think that there's absolutely nothing wrong. And so we're comfortable with what we have been taught in school. We're comfortable with the complacency of the way our lives go, in terms of getting up every day, going to work, how they have people in 9 to 5 job and there's no time to study anything else. And, they have all these TV shows to distract you, all these different things going on that captures the mind. So when someone comes along with the truth, you automatically get upset, or you may get defensive, or you reject it, or you shut down. Like I said, there's different stages of grief, right? Um, but a lot of the times, those stages don't necessarily lead to acceptance. People will fight you tooth and nail all the way to the grave. They won't believe you, right? And so, one of the things that I know is that even going back to the days of Noah, he warned people. He warned people. He warned people. He warned people. You see, I'm circling the inconvenient truth. The inconvenient truth. He warned people for years and years. No, how long was it? Like 100 years? He warned people that the flood was coming, and people still didn't listen, and they still were living their life all the way up until the day that he closed the door to the ark. I'm just saying, history repeats itself. History repeats itself. You have to ask yourself a question. What side of the truth are you going to be on? What side of the truth are you going to? All right. Okay. So where were we? Where were we? Let's see if I can scroll back. Oh, I think we were. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wait, did we read this part already? As food prices continue to rise, these big companies are going to look for ways to reduce input costs. One way they're going to do that is by starting to put crush bugs in our food. Ooh wee. I know that this may sound really bizarre to you, but this is already happening in Europe. Okay, let's click on this article to see. Goodness, no. No, 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 no. Crushed bug additive is now included in pizza, pasta, and cereals across the EU. You line. I can't even look at that. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. European Union. Oh my goodness. Yes, really. The fatted house crickets are the the fatted house crickets are on the menu for Europeans across the continent without the vast majority of them knowing it is now in their food. So what do y'all think the US is doing? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So you might want to start reading labels a lot more carefully from now on. Of course, it isn't just the cost of food that has become extremely oppressive. Just about everything has gotten more expensive, and this has broken the remaining strength of the U.S. consumer. If you doubt this, just consider some of the last economic numbers that we have seen. U.S. retail stores sales fall once again. Let's click on this. Where is this taking us? All right, retail sales continue to fall in December as shoppers battle inflation. This was just published on January the 18th. All right, y'all. Yeah. Another article from CNN Business. I'm just saying, it's right here. It's right here. It was a ho-hum end to 2022 for spending in America. U.S. retail sales continued their fall in December, dropping by 1.1% as inflation remained high. The Commerce Department reported on Wednesday. That's the largest monthly decline. The largest monthly decline since December of 2021. Practically every category. Mm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Hold on, let me go back. Where was I at? Oh Lord, let me close the doggone crushed eggs. I do not want to see that again. All right. I'm just saying. Um, all right, so where were we? I don't know why every time I click away on this thing, it scrolls down a little bit. Okay, US retail sales continued their fall in December. Okay, we read that, I believe. That's yep. Since 2021, sale of existing homes have now fallen for 11 months in a row. That's Fox Business. Existing home sales tumbled in December for the 11th straight month, falling to the lowest level since 2010. Yeah, pay attention. Pay attention. Higher mortgage rates have caused home sales to fall for 11 consecutive months. Okay. I'm just saying, pay attention to what's going on. We know, lady, we know. All right. More Americans than ever before are being forced to pay 30% of their incomes on rent. 30% is a lot of money, y'all, to pay out of your total income. That's a lot. That's really a lot. And this is from the Daily Mail. American households are being squeezed. Record high number of people are now spreading more than 30% of their income on rent. Yeah, that's really high. That is really, really high. So you all just pay attention, like I said, to the sign of the times. That's a lot of money. 30% is a lot. That's a lot. U.S. consumers are being stretched financially like never before, and many are turning to debt to help them maintain their current lifestyles. This is what I was saying before about the credit cards. Because people are not making more money, they're taking out credit and living off of their credit cards. As a result, the savings rate has plunged. Exactly. So because if you can't save money if you're living paycheck to paycheck, there's no way to do it. So people are taking out credit card debt to help them manage, right? So I'm just saying, look at the sign of the times. The combination of record high credit and debt and credit card debt and record high credit card interest is nothing short of catastrophic for both the US economy and the strapped consumer who has no choice but to keep buying on credit while hoping next month's bill will somehow not come. This is a deep statement right here. Woo! While hoping that next month's bill will somehow not come. And unfortunately, it will. And at some point in the very near future, this will also translate into massive loan losses for U.S. consumer banks. Yeah, for a long time, we have been warned. Is that I've been warned. Yeah, y'all. So that's where we are. And like I was saying, I can only recommend some way, shape, or form that we deal with the issues of income, and really, really just do what it is that we need to do, okay, in order to get more money coming in. All right. All right. So I just wanted to spend a little bit of time with you all this evening just to go through that article. This is Tamara T. Bush. Stay up, keep your head up, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace and love.